Hi, and welcome to our first video in the pelvic floor series. We're going to talk about what the pelvic floor is, how it functions, and then we're going to try to connect to our pelvic floor using our breath. So I have a pelvic floor here. The pelvic floor is just a set of muscles that sits between your hip bones. So this is your pelvis. And then if we flip it over, you can see that there's an outer layer of muscle. So this is the most superficial layer. You have your urethra up here, the vagina and the anus. And then if we take this superficial layer off, you have also a deeper layer of pelvic floor muscles. And these are really the main functions here. These are really going to lift those organs up. And so this is what we're trying to get in touch with so that we can help support our organs and our core. The reasons why this is super important is because these muscles actually wrap around those organs. So when you have some issues going on with your bowel or your bladder or your reproductive organs, sometimes addressing the strength and the elasticity of these muscles can help fix some of those problems. And when you're working out, the pelvic floor is considered the bottom of your core. So it's actually a part of the core muscles, and it's what helps us maintain pressure in our core when we go to do things like lift weights. So I'm going to put this away. And then I'm going to invite you to just put one hand over your chest here and one hand over right below your belly button. You can keep your eyes open or keep your eyes closed. And we're just going to take some breaths here. And I just want you to notice what part of you is moving. Is your chest going up and down a lot? Is your belly going in and out? What do you feel just breathing normally? And then I want you to try to take a breath where you're pushing your bottom hand out, so the hand that's near your belly, out away from you. So taking a big belly breath in, making your belly feel really hard. And then relaxing, letting it all go. So in order to connect to our pelvic floor, the pelvic floor works with our diaphragm. So as we breathe in, our diaphragm goes down and our pelvic floor actually relaxes and also goes down. When we exhale, our diaphragm comes back up and our pelvic floor lifts a little bit. And this happens without us even trying. So we're going to try to tap into that feeling to see if we can kind of make some sort of connection here with the pelvic floor muscles. So I want you to take a deep breath in, feeling relaxed, feeling space in between your hips, and then let it go and maybe feel a little bit of a lift. So you're not trying to do anything here, you're just trying to see how your body feels. So again, you're going to take a deep breath in. The pelvic floor is relaxing, lengthening. Let it out and feeling a tiny little lift. I'm going to give you a few more breaths to try to make that connection. Okay, so it's okay if you didn't feel anything. We're going to move into a different position and try something else. So I'm going to have you lay on your side next. So just get into a comfortable position on your side here. You're going to take your top hand and put it on your rib cage. So not in the squishy place between your hip and your rib cage, right on your bones here. So you should be able to feel your ribs. What we're going to do here is we're going to again do some deep breathing, but this time I want you to focus on trying to move your hand that's on top up towards the ceiling with your breath. So you're going to take a deep inhale, pushing that hand up. Exhale, letting it go, just letting yourself relax here. So again, you're going to take a big inhale up, letting those ribs fall. And what we're doing here is we're working on the lateral expansion of our rib cage. And when we create more space in our rib cage, we're creating more space in our pelvic floor too. So this is going to help us provide some more pressure down on the pelvic floor to help you kind of feel those muscles down there. So again, we're going to take a deep breath in, letting it go. And I want you to feel how much space you're creating, not only in your rib cage, but also in that area between your hips. So on this next inhale, I want you to see if you can feel your pelvic floor relaxing. Exhale, a little bit of a lift. Let's do 3 more like this. Inhale, creating space. Exhale, lift. One more here. Good. Okay, so for our next position, we're going to lay on our back, and now we're actually going to try to contract our pelvic floor a little bit. So laying on our back here, again, I'd invite you to put one hand over your chest and one hand over your belly. And when you inhale, the pelvic floor relaxes. Exhale, I want you to think about drawing a blueberry up through the center of your bottom. So you're going to inhale. Exhale, drawing up and in. Inhale, relax. Exhale, drawing up and in with that pelvic floor. Another visualization that you can use here is what we call the diamond method. So you're going to imagine that your pubic bone is the tip of your diamond. Your sits bones back here are the 2 sides of your diamond. And then your tailbone in the back is the bottom point of the diamond. And so when you take a deep breath in, you're thinking about that diamond getting wider. And when you exhale and lift, that diamond is contracting or getting smaller. So let's take 3 breaths here, thinking about that diamond. Inhale, creating space, getting bigger. Exhale, contract and lift. Inhale, relax. Exhale, contract and lift. One more. Inhaling. Exhale, lift. Good job. Okay, so now that we've learned how to contract the pelvic floor, we're going to try to also relax it, because relaxing is also very important when you want to let things go. So I'm going to have you bring both your feet up into what we call frog's pose. So you have your feet together, and then I have the insides, or I have my hands around the insides of my ankles here. And I can really feel a pull on my inner thighs. But you also want to kind of be creating space in this area between your hips too. So here we're just going to relax. You can keep going with the deep breathing, focusing on that inhale, creating space. But I want to invite you to just notice how it feels when you bring your attention to your pelvic floor. And if this is uncomfortable for you, you can always just do one leg at a time. So just holding one leg in, maybe holding it out a little bit. That will stretch at least one side. Okay. Great job making a connection with your pelvic floor. And on the next video, we're going to start working the pelvic floor into some exercises on the mat.